The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, the city's first school-based community health center will open next week at Diman. Bristol County Sheriff Heroux is looking to make changes to prisoner cells to reduce the instances of suicide. And a program is available where needy residents can do their laundry for free. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, February 29th, 2024. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. HealthFirst Family Care Center is partnering with Diman Regional Vocational Technical High School to open the first school-based community health center in Greater Fall River. At the health center, which opens this coming Monday, March 4th, HealthFirst will staff a nurse and doctor at Diman daily and provide primary care services for students that go beyond the school's current medical capabilities. The goal is to expand medical opportunities for students and, by extension, parents.
We already see parents struggling to bring kids even to the health center for services. So kind of stepping in and eliminating that barrier for parents is super important, where they don't need to lose work time. I think that is huge for a parent, especially in Fall River. There's a lot of uninsured kids out there, so tapping into that resource. We have certified insurance application coordinators on site here that can help kids start right from that level and then move them right into, okay, let's meet their primary health care need now, which includes immunizations, chronic disease management, acute care, all of that. Let's meet their dental needs. Behavioral health is huge. We need to see that in Fall River. Behavioral health is so real for a lot of these kids and a lot of these families. So tapping into, adding additional resources and supports for the school to meet that need is super important to us as well.
Services at the new health center will be offered to students free of charge, paid for by family medical insurance and federal funding for the project secured by HealthFirst.
The nurses will see over at the school will see them first, and then for the most part they'll see them first. They'll see if it's something that HealthFirst we will need to jump in if there's some testing like flu, COVID, or anything, urine, anything that we can take over at that point. But in addition to that, we'll be scheduling physical appointments, screenings, anything like that we can also do and book ahead of time. And obviously parents are more than welcome to join in that visit, but also they know that we will be verbally communicating with them throughout that process. We will be functioning just like the clinic. So HIPAA is our main priority, right? We don't want to, breach anything. So we have our own system that we will be documenting in, and nothing will be shared unless the parent would want it to be shared. So everything is confidential to that aspect of care that we have. So we just mimic what the clinic would. It would just all stay with clinic.
The concept of a school-based community health center is not new to Massachusetts, but the HealthFirst and Diman partnership introduces the opportunity to the South Coast. Ms. Braga says she feels the health center is a complement to work already being done by the current school's nursing staff.
The relationships that they do have with the students are very hard, being a high schooler, and they offered that help that they needed, whether it was medical, behavioral, or just being there. And the students were comfortable to be able, because you need that extra, maybe someone there to talk to, someone other than family. Sometimes it's easier to talk to someone else. So having that support system at school, being able to understand them, is kind of what I want to bring over to Diman, and just be able that they're comfortable enough that they can reach out to somebody.
Diman Superintendent Director Brian Bentley says the school initially had questions about the project, but soon began to see the potential benefits it can bring to Diman students.
We know that we can service students here from the 4 communities, and that when we ask things as simple as sports physicals, they have to either go to their own doctor or we have to set up specific times. But what is the benefit to Diman, and the benefit in particular to our Diman students? Then they laid out a whole litany of services that can be provided to these students. We're talking everything from medical situations that may come up, like referrals, to they can go as far as mental health services, should it be needed for referrals, dental services, should they need that, dental care. So we found that to be interesting, still not knowing how's it going to work. Right. Dr. Vaught and his team came here to Diman. We met with them, and we were convinced this sounds like a good idea. And they plan on being here from 7:30 in the morning until 2:45 in the afternoon, which is our normal school operating hours. They're going to be here at least 3 years. When we did sign a letter of commitment, they were looking for something that's not going to happen this year and go away next year. They wanted a long-term commitment. And again, the best we could do is say that, well, let's go for 3 years, which is like the bare bones minimum, and then we'll take it from there. We see this as being a win-win, so we don't see this going away.
Ms. Madeira says the school-based community health center fits into the organization's mission to expand healthcare accessibility across Fall River.
Some of the things that kind of put health centers typically, but HealthFirst specifically on the map is the fact that we have all those ancillary services that maybe some of the private offices don't have. We have nutrition services, we have case management services, again, we have insurance services, we have WIC, we have a lot of stuff on site that a lot of these private offices don't necessarily have, and the kids need them. The families need them. We have pharmacy services. We have a 340B pharmacy program that we're part of, which is discounted drugs for uninsured patients. We have a lot of those resources.
HealthFirst is hopeful it can expand its school-based community health program to other area schools. The organization has been in contact with the Fall River Public Schools about establishing a similar health center at Durfee High School and the city's middle schools. The Fall River City Council this week began discussion on a proposal by Councilor Cliff Ponte to create an affordable housing trust fund. The councilor says the fund would provide incentives to developers to create more affordable units and stem what he says is an epidemic of housing insecurity across Fall River.
If housing isn't one of the biggest issues facing this community and all across the state, with the exception of substance abuse issues and some of the other things that face communities, this is right along the lines of that. We used a lot of money in ARPA, and I know some of this stuff needed to happen. Lots of money, lots and lots of money in ARPA in Bristol County. And I just want to see us as elected officials advocate to try to put our money where our mouth is. We were all asked on the campaign trail, what are you going to do, candidate, to address housing? Well, none of us can do anything alone. We can't go create inventory, but this is going to address that middle section of people that need to move or are getting evicted and have an affordability issue. And it's not going to be something all together. It's not going to happen overnight, and I commend the work Mike Dion's office has done with the mayor and community development agency, but this is something that this community needs.
Councilor Ponte met with Mayor Paul Coogan and his administration this week to discuss the viability of the trust fund. The mayor says he's not against the creation of the fund. The issue becomes how it will be funded.
And my only conversations with the council were, where is the money going to come from? We are trying to zero out as much as we can of our opera accounts, because the deadline is coming up quickly on when it's supposed to be committed by. I think if you remember right, when Bristol County gave the city, I think $18 million, but that was under the authority of the city council. They're down to like $160,000 over there. That's not going to do much for affordable housing. Cliff had mentioned a few spots where he's going to see how he can make out trying to solicit some funds, and that's fine. I told him again, if he knows where we can get the money or how the money's going to come to us, we'll definitely look at it. Anything we do to improve housing in the city of Fall River and opportunity, I'm all for it.
Councilor Ponte says there are more than 100 communities across the Commonwealth that have set up an affordable housing trust fund. Bristol County Sheriff Paul Heroux this week gave the media an update and tour of the Bristol County House of Correction on projects that have been undertaken to reduce the instances of suicide at the Dartmouth jail, which have risen to 3 times the national average.
7 out of 7 of the suicides we had here at the Dartmouth campus, of the last 7 out of 7 suicides, were all done using bunk beds. So we are retrofitting the bunk beds, we redesigned them in-house, and so there are no more real choke points, horizontal bars or 45-degree angle bars that somebody could use to tie something with to hang themselves. So that's what the inmates are doing right now. They are retrofitting the beds. This housing unit, FA, is the first housing unit we're doing, and they're doing all of them at the same time. We're also doing some other upgrades to the housing unit. The windows had a point of contact at the bottom of the base where somebody could hang themselves with one of the vertical bars by the windowsill. We're going to be putting air conditioning in here as well to make it more comfortable for the inmates, but also for the correctional officers who have to work here. So we're doing a lot of different things.
The work at the county jail comes from a consultant's report that identified 23 issues with the prison's policies and procedures that needed to be addressed. Just a year into his first term in office, the sheriff says just about all of the recommendations from the report have been or in the process of being undertaken. Another project still on the table is the installation of toilets and locks in all cells at the facility.
We have 22 housing units on this campus. 11 of the 22 housing units don't have locks on doors because they don't have toilets in the cells. It costs about $500,000 to do each housing unit, so just for the toilets alone, so that's about $5.5 million just for the toilets, but then you got to put the locks on the doors. But when you also do the toilets in the cells, you also have to address the HVAC system as well. So that's going to be a project in, between probably $15 and $20 million. It's necessary. The state has been very cooperative. The governor's office has been very cooperative. The legislature has been very supportive of this as well because they see the need to have locks on doors in a jail. But that is something that it's underway right now. DCAM, the Division of Capital Asset Management, they are doing the engineering and the architectural design for that. And once they get that done, we're going to start the construction.
The sheriff says he plans to move forward on the closure of the Ash Street Jail in New Bedford and converting the former ICE detention facility into a new training facility. The cost of living in the city continues to be a problem for many across Fall River. One city resident is working with a national organization called Laundry Love to provide free laundry service to those in need.
Once upon a time, when I was volunteering at a soup kitchen, somebody came up to me and they asked me how could they do laundry in where could they go in Fall River to do their laundry for free. And at the time there wasn't an option, so I took it upon myself to make that an option. And so in March of 2023, Laundry Love Fall River was born. It makes me feel great. I really enjoy improving Fall River because Fall River's needed a program like this for quite some time now, and so being able to start something like this in the city of Fall River, it's really awesome.
Twice a month on the second and fourth Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to noon, residents can get up to 2 loads of laundry washed and dried for free. They can also gain free access to laundry detergent and dryer sheets. Residents are allowed to take advantage of the free laundry service once a month.
So all people have to do is just show up. So a lot of different programs at Fall River, they require like forms of identification, like they want like an ID, they want a proof of residency. I don't ask for any of that. I just want them to show up, their name, and just to know if they're homeless or not, and that's it. So it's a very low barrier to get services here. As of March of 2023, I believe we've served at least 302 individuals and or families, and we've helped wash over 11,000 pounds of laundry, and that is roughly 5.5 tons of laundry since March.
The program has enlisted the services of 2 local laundromats, East Coast Laundromat, soon to become Star Laundromat on Quarry Street, and Cam's Laundromat on 2nd Street. Cam's employee Lauren Thompson says the laundromat has benefited greatly for being a part of the program and welcomes the opportunity to lend a hand to city residents.
There's a lot of people who is in need, especially in our community, We have a lot of people who do need the help, and especially at times that that is really hard for them and down for them. We have seen a lot of improvement. People who are in need, who are homeless, people who's low income, and it started off good, and us as camps contributing with them. We're just very, proud and helpful for what we have done to contribute to Laundry of Love.
Crystal lives in Fall River and has taken advantage of the free laundry service for the past few months. She says she saved anywhere between $20 and $40 a month by using the service, money that can be spent on other priorities.
It's really important because it's a choice between paying my Xfinity bill, paying my gas bill, my electric bill, and having clean clothes. So the way it works in my household is I literally have to decide between paying my Xfinity or having clean clothes because they're approximately the same amount of money every month, and that's where we're at right now. So with this program, it allows us to have clean clothes every month, and we're allowed to have clean clothes because of this program.
Laundry Love Fall River is currently being financed by donations from the First Congregational Church and the Church of the Holy Spirit. Church of the Holy Spirit pastor Reverend James Medley has worked with another Laundry for Love chapter in Virginia and feels it was important to support the project in Fall River for the long term.
As long as I have something to say about it, it will. We're going to continue to do that. We take up contributions from the parish of laundry detergent and dryer sheets and fabric softener, all that stuff. They continuously bring that stuff in. So yeah, we're going to keep supporting them.
We have a donation link at purecharity.com. We have a donation link. If people want to donate, they can feel free to. Any amount is welcome. That goes straight into the washing machines, into different detergent and all that good stuff.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Physical Therapy Assistant, Crystal Springs Incorporated, located at 256 Albany Street, seeks a part-time physical therapy assistant to work directly with individuals of all ages, supporting them in their journey towards improved mobility, strength, and overall well-being. Job number 204-72140. Office Administrator, Century Services Group, located at 260 North Main Street, is looking for a full-time office administrator, responsible for welcoming visitors, coordinating meetings, appointments, and directing various administrative projects. Job number 204-70748. Clinical Program Manager, St. Vincent's Home, located at 2425 Highland Avenue, is seeking a full-time clinical program manager, responsible for setting up, coordinating, and leading clinical studies. Job number 204-70574. Warehouse Driver Helper, North Atlantic Corporation, located at 657 Quarry Street, is looking for a full-time warehouse driver helper. For more information, call 508-646-1252. AutoZone Auto Parts, located at 870 North Main Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Commercial Sales Manager, job number 204-68230. Shift Supervisor, job number 204-68129. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The first opportunity for Fall River voters to cast ballots in 2024 takes place this Tuesday as Massachusetts holds its presidential primary. Voters are being asked to cast votes for president and party delegates in the Democrat, Republican, and Libertarian parties. Polls open at 7 a.m. and will close at 8 p.m. at 27 polling places across the city. Elections Commission Chair Ryan Lyons reminds voters that there are changes to some of the polling places.
In the south end of Fall River, I want to consolidate precincts 3A and 3B, which are currently at Carlton Viveris Elementary School and Mitchell Apartments, into Good Shepherd Parish. It's a large parish hall with a very large parking lot, which makes it greatly accessible to the public on Election Day, which I think is a great benefit, especially considering the densely populated neighborhoods of the south end of the city. Heading over into the Flint section of Fall River, I want to merge the Eastwood Fire Station, Precinct 6C, and the Quikasham Apartments, Bishop Eat Apartments on Quikasham Street, into St. Anthony's Church. Again, a beautiful facility, a large parish hall with a parking lot like the size of Gillette Stadium. Taking a tour up to the north end of the city, my plans are to consolidate the current precincts, 9A, Tansy Elementary, 8C, which is Spencer Borden Elementary, and then 8B, Cardinal Medeiros Towers on Robeson Street. I want to consolidate those 3 polling precincts into Bristol Community College Building G, which is the Commonwealth Student Center. And BCC has been a great partner. They have rolled out the red carpet to my office. I had a great meeting with them. They're going to be reserving an entire parking lot for voters. They're offering rides. The security is going to be offering rides to voters to and from the parking lot, which is not a great distance, but just in case of somebody, an elderly voter, a handicapped voter, requires assistance getting from their car into the building, they're going to be offering assistance on Election Day. They are going to be putting signs right from the entrance on Elsby Street, guiding voters all the way to the parking lot. I know there are some students who are looking forward to having a table set up and helping voters on Election Day, so there's a lot more to come on that, but that's what's going to be happening up in the north end of the city. And again, voters will be receiving a letter in the mail with their change of polling precinct information from my office.
Residents who have mail ballots must return them to the elections office by Tuesday at 8 p.m. Mr. Lyon says he anticipates a relatively strong mail-in vote.
In 2020, vote by mail was first introduced to the public, but that was through a special act of the state legislature and through a pandemic. So in November 2020, we had 15,000 applicants. I don't know if that's going to be the case come November 2024. And this will be the first presidential primary where we had voting by mail. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what the numbers are going to be like. I would anticipate, seeing how it is a state election year that includes a presidential election, that the interest is going to be a lot higher than 2023, for example. So I would anticipate the numbers to probably be similar to what we saw in 2022, that we might have upwards between 8 to 10 to 12,000 applicants who are going to be interested in applying for a mail-in ballot.
Fall River electricity provider National Grid held an event recently at Government Center, connecting city residents with services to help them make ends meet. Event organizer Damaris Dominguez of National Grid says the utility has programs to ensure needy residents can remain in their homes and pay their electric bill.
We have a 32% discount on electricity if you qualify. We also offer an arrears management program in case you're over $300 or 60 days overdue. And you're on our discount rate. You're eligible to get up to $12,000 forgiven in a year, as well as enrolling people in payment plans or budget billing or any issue you might have with your National Grid bill. The program with National Grid, which is the discount rate, once you apply for it, you receive it for a full year, and then you would have to recertify for it in the year. And then the arrears management program is the program that will be on your bill until you fully get your balance forgiven.
The Government Center event included local social service agencies and natural gas provider Liberty Utilities that provide support for city residents. Ms. Dominguez says people behind on their bills have options available to help.
We do have one of our advocates that does come to Fall River once a month, and they can go see a National Grid advocate at Citizens for Citizens. You can go to our website, ngrid.com/here to help, to get more information as to what the calendar is of when they'll be here in Fall River, but they do come out once a month. And we're also in other locations within the state, so not only in Fall River, but we do these events throughout the state of Massachusetts. We want to be able to make things easier for our customers, right? And we also want to be able to meet our customers where they work, where they live, so that they can have better access to our services.
We'll wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Mistletoe. She's a 2-year-old tortie.
She was owner surrender through no fault of her own. She is spayed. She did have 6 kittens, so she was in foster care for a while. She did tolerate the other cats in the house. She just didn't like them in her face. Her foster mom says she is very sweet and very cuddly. So if you'd like to meet Mistletoe, come on down to 300 Linwood Street, Fall River, Mass. We do have applications online at foreverpaws.com. Just click on Adopt, select the application you'd like. You can email it online, and we'll give you a call once it's approved to come down and meet her.
Today we have Bombay. Bombay is an 8-year-old male pitty. He actually came to us, there was actually 4 pitties that got surrendered to us, all from the same home. Unfortunately, the folks, they were evicted from their home, fell on some hard times, and they couldn't find a place to bring them all with them. He's still got plenty of energy. He is a terrier breed. They just keep going and keep going. Whatever home that he goes into should be at least have the time to do the regular walkings, morning, ideally midday, afternoon, play, all that sort of things, because he's still going to need that. We don't have a history with children with Bombay, so if you do have any in the home, we would like them to be over 12. We don't have a history with him with cats either, so we would prefer to place him in a home that doesn't have cats. So if you think that you might be interested in meeting Bombay here, possibly adopting him and making him a new part of the family, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.